Behavior modification. You've got the employee there, may not be necessarily a team employee, just depends who it is, but let's look on behavior and how we can improve it in the organization. We have an antecedent. In other words, we know something's going to be happening before the behavior begins, and then the behavior itself, what the person says or does, and the consequences. For example, your phone makes a sound. By instinct, we've all been programmed that our phone has now rung. Get the phone, and you look at it. Oh, I'm in the middle of a meeting. Put the phone down. Okay, you learn useful information from the new message on your iPhone. So you pay attention to what's going on. You have the anticipation, and boom, something happens to indicate that behavior is going to happen and the consequences of what happens. So we have different kinds of what we call organizational behavior modification consequences. Positive reinforcement. This is the carrot in front of the person. If you do this, you get to have that carrot. Oh yeah, don't root around for that carrot. Yeah, you get the pun. Yes. But the reinforcer. If you do this, you get this. It's a reward. If you do this, you get this. But if you don't do it, doom will follow. Doom, doom, doom. Punishment. So you do things. So you do the good. If you do it, here you go. If you don't do it, it's really bad. Now, by the way, no water boards is no longer allowed, so get them out of your workplace. Okay. And then extinction, where there's no consequence, the behavior really decreases. And then also make certain that there's an opportunity for negative reinforcement. Talk to people afterwards. Now, by the way, the rule is reward in public, punish in private. And yes, sometimes people do mess up in the workplace, and the word punish is appropriate. So make certain that it's never done publicly, because that person needs to save face. Otherwise, if you do it publicly, you're going to have a long-term problem. The employee will probably hate you and the company. So be careful about how you do that. Be kind. Only deal with behavior. Never attack the person. That's specific. I'll talk more about employee discipline, how we go about doing that at a later date. So 4 things: positive reinforcement, a reward, a punishment. Okay, the behavior will decrease, whatever that may be. And extinction, when there's no consequence either, the behavior decreases. Okay, extinction sometimes means termination too, depends how far you want to take it. And then negative reinforcement, in other words, when a consequence is removed, the behavior increases. So pay attention to that. And also what we call the social cognitive theory, learning behavior consequences, observe others. I don't know about you, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, and the best thing I do is watch what they're doing over here. Okay, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. Okay, so here we go. Yes, I can teach. I watch this over here. So model behaviors, sometimes you look at that and you practice the same behavior. Self-regulation, sometimes you may have things that you do. You may get stuck by saying the word, and you don't notice it till all of a sudden somebody points it out or you hear about it, and then you realize, I need to modify that behavior. So you modify the behavior and you pay attention. You may even get a friend or an enemy to sit down there and help you in the process to make certain you're getting rid of the in the process, so you can stop that altogether. And you have to have that self-reinforcement. Okay, I got this. I can do this. I'm going to stop swearing at drivers that cut me off in traffic. Yes, you. Oh, I did it again. Okay, so the self-reinforcement, we can have methods even to the point of rewarding yourself for the self-regulation. Here's an interesting aspect on goal setting. A lot of times, I'm going to do that this year. Well, how are you going to do it? Be specific on your goals. Make certain your goal is measurable. By measurable, make certain there's a way of saying, this is what I should have gotten, and this is what I really did. Is it achievable? Don't set goals that are ridiculous, that can't be achieved, and then make certain that it's relevant, that you can control it. You sometimes don't have control over the weather. You don't have control over things that your boss has control over. Sometimes it's relevant and it's within your control. Make certain you have a time frame for it to hold yourself personally accountable. If you want to really do a good job of holding yourself accountable, tell somebody else your due date is, and you'll be more prone to complete that. Make certain that if it's a group thing, that you make the goals exciting and that you have a party or something if it's really fabulous and wonderful. And then always go back and make certain you have some type of feedback, a recognition of the different process of the goals. It's called effective goal setting, and these are goals you want to make certain that you're meeting. Specifics on the feedback, be specific, relevant, timely, credible in the process. Look on the antecedents, they're precursors. And then the reinforcement, look for the positive, punishment, extinction, and negative. And then also the intelligent goals along with the social cognitive theory. Overall, behavior modification in the workplace, getting people motivated, can be done if you use these tools. Take care.